Aloha guys, this is JohnRemus.com TV. Doing a little metaphor here of the running water, the flow of life, and wanting things to flow in the right direction, specifically in marriage. And my concepts for marriage I'm presenting to you here. 5 ideas which I think will enable you and empower you to not only experience a high level of connection with someone and trust and quote-unquote love, but something else. Something where you want to be with no one else in your life. You know, even when you get older or through the ups and downs of life, this is the person who you really would want to be with. You know, it's not like some of these people, men or women, who are wealthy and they can maybe bribe or convince someone who's younger to be with them because they can provide security, and that person, the young person, has this program in their head that, oh, you know, I need this security, I don't want to create it myself, I'm too lazy, or I don't know how, or I'm whatever it is. There is a way to get to a place where you can unequivocally want to be with someone, even if they're in a wheelchair, whatever it is. It's like, this is the person I want in my life. And I coined the term the dream mate. Maybe others have used it, but mine suggests that, you know, someone who's your dream partner, somebody who you don't have to convince about anything. You don't, you know, and people make the mistake, I feel, number one. This is number one of five concepts. People make the mistake of thinking that, oh, you know, this person's friendly, I know them, they're competent, I'm physically attracted to them. Those are not enough, though. I feel those are not enough reasoning to commit to someone. When you're committing to someone, it's because you have specific mutual interests, and you don't have to change each other. You have to hope this person has the same desires as you do. You know, there's specific things, like maybe particular art or music or hobbies or just lifestyle in general. And everyone's unique. You know, some people want to travel. Some people would like to raise their children a certain way. There are a lot of elements to consider, and reasons where you would absolutely or absolutely not want to be with someone if they like or don't like certain things. And power to the individual. You know, be able to look at other people. By the way, activation of the second chakra allows you for your self-control. I'll make that number 2. There are a lot of people who, you know, you can look around at and you might have either one of you be attracted to each other, but guess what? What you really want is, you want to be able to look at someone and want good for them, want for them to have a great life, a great spouse, a great husband or wife. And all that has to do with is with self-control. And number 3, my concept is to define yourself before even considering another person. And this is a good concept of this is when, you know, you see people studying 8 years to become specialized in a field. If you can devote that type of time, say after high school, then you're going to really define and create who you are. And anyone who gets in that way as far as physical intimacy, like, I like the idea of quote-unquote massage parlors, which could offer erotic, like a hand job, quote-unquote. I feel like anything beyond that, though, really is not only physically unhealthy and unsanitary, but also spiritually. It takes away your energy. And this being number 3. is that you've got to be careful that you don't give your energy to someone else, or hope that, or feel badly for them and feel that you need to give them your energy, your passion, your desire. When you give somebody energy, they'll use it, right? And they'll most likely use it to pursue their interests. And guess what? If their interests are inconsistent with yours, then you're basically wasting your energy and time. You're unwisely investing it, and you're basically saying that your desires and control you. And because if you really truly, and I'll make this the conclusion, I may have mixed up on the number sequence, number 4 or 5, but I'll make this the conclusion, number 5, that if you truly think you're rich, if you truly think you're classy and royal and powerful is, people make the mistake of thinking that power is power over other people, ability to seduce people or be desirable, whatever. That's not even power. Power is being able to be kind to people and having self-control such that your desires and don't interfere with your wanting to be able to look at people and look around and just be able to look right at people and say you want good for them. To have that mentality. And there are also other elements. Actually, I want to name a few more numbers here. Number 6 would be the being discerning and not letting people manipulate you. And it's easier than you might think to manipulate people. People offer you food or money, or even in job situations. Sexuality can have it be an underlying theme. You've got to be in different situations. You've got to be cautious. Just avoid the opposite sex. Avoid the opposite gender. People might think that's old world or traditional, whatever thinking. I think, and it's not progressive, but I think it is important to not be around, the opposite gender too much, so much so that you might give them the wrong impression, or that they might like you, or what. And guess what? Just people that are familiar with each other, guess what happens is they, because of familiarity, they become attracted, or they want to pursue something, and that's really not what you want in your life. You want to be able to have a high degree of control over yourself and not be manipulated, not be in compromising situations. And number 7 is, well, what's the process? What does it look like on a real world, setting? Besides such things as wearing a ring to show your commitment to yourself, how about something like dating websites where you can more efficiently be selective? And I call it the key question that you can ask people. Like, what's one important thing for you? Like, for me, it's being vegan, and I feel like that's one way to define myself or identify someone who might be someone I care about or want to be commit myself to as a dream mate. And so the reality being that, how do you approach it? Do you go on a date? I feel like just via email, one can learn a lot about someone. Video chat, you can even identify whether or not you're sexually compatible by talking about that. There are things and ways to approach life that are good. And I'd also like to share that in my life, I used to have limited self-esteem because I named others my authority, and using terms such as father, uncle, etc., grandfather, etc. And these terms weighed me down and made me feel kind of have a following submissive mentality, which left me subject to some people with bad intentions. And so what happened was, earlier in my life, is I perhaps was in relations that were not healthy, intimate relations where I had an unhealthy exchange, or expected them to take care of some of my basic needs, desires, and wants, and vice versa. But the reality is, a dream mate relationship is beyond that. You're able to satisfy your own needs by work, desires by sexual stimulation, activation of the second chakra, and 3, your wants by your emotions. You can activate that emotional center, the 3rd chakra. You can do that by exercise, music listening, pursuing activities you like, doing things that make you feel empowered, even such things as work and involvement in the community and such. But guess what? All those things you can do with lots of people. Like I was saying earlier, all those things you can be, there are lots of people who you'll find attractive or whatnot. By the way, here's some ice, nice ice machine there, and why not do something different? Why not think about, maybe in the back of your head you liked the idea of marriage and you didn't think it was possible, but I'm offering some ideas which have not only stabilized my mind and my spirit, but allowed me to seriously feel confident that the perfect marriage is out there. And it has to do with patience. It has to do with realizing that if you don't think your body's attractive, that maybe in your next reincarnation you can realize the dream mate connection, quote unquote, get married, have a good life. But you want it, the goal being to want for yourself and everyone else to have that in their life, to have that great marriage and that great, wholesome connection where you're sharing your life together, and it's a life partnership. It's how you kind of add a purpose to life, and you kind of, somebody who you can go through life with, and someone to, you look out for each other. It's pair bonding. And yeah, thank you for considering. Let's move forward in a higher degree of love, a love based upon science, based upon reasoning and strategy. Thanks for considering.